we're talking about endless loops. And this is so much fun to play with. The way we're going to play with this is to pick any 4-digit number. Let's say 4-digit whole number. And what you're going to do to that number is you're going to rewrite it. So you rewrite it in two ways. You're going to rewrite it as its largest form and smallest form. And then subtract and repeat. And this sounds really confusing. However, we can deal with this. Let's say I take the number 6,174. That is step number 1. You pick any 4-digit whole number. So I picked this one. And then I have to rewrite this number as its largest and smallest form. So to rewrite it in its largest form, I want to pick the biggest digit first, which is 7, right? Because that will affect the thousands place. And then I'll use the next largest digit, which is a 6, and then a 4, and then a 1. So this is me writing it in the largest form possible. And then I'll also write it in its smallest, right? In its smallest form. So to do that, I'll use the smallest digit first, which is 1. Right, so 1,000, and then the next smallest digit, which is a 4, and then 6, and then the largest digit last. Now if I subtract these two, right, that's the last step. What happens here? Well, 7,641 minus 1,467. We subtract these two, we take the difference, we get 6,174. And here is our endless loop. In other words, what's so cool about this process is if you do this, you pick any 4-digit whole number and you keep rewriting it as its largest and smallest form and then subtract and repeat, you'll end up with 6,174, and then you repeat the process and you get back to 6,174. And then, okay, rewrite it, subtract, you end up back at 6,174. It's a loop. It goes back and forth, back and forth. So you'll always end up here. And then we'll try one test to play with that, but you'll always end up here. So you can play all kinds of tricks on people with that and see if they're able to discover what's happening. But we'll play with the number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is already in its lowest form, so I'm just going to find it in its highest form, which is 4, 3, 2, 1, and then subtract its lowest form from that. And I can grab my calculator to do that. I don't need a calculator, and I'm sure you don't either, but I don't want to get at the arithmetic here. I want to get at the pattern, right? This is about the pattern here. Sorry about that. So here we go. The calculator. By the time I open this, it could have easily stopped it by hand. Sorry. 4, 3, 2, 1 minus 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 3,087. Now, this number, we want to rewrite it into its largest form, which is 8730, minus its smallest form, which is 0378, and that's just 378. So we can figure this out, right? Subtract those, find the difference. We're just repeating. We get 8352. Now we take this number and write it in its largest form and subtract its smallest form from it. And now what do we get? 8532 minus 2358. Ooh, look at that. 6,174. So we've reached our destination, and you would know you're done here because if you rewrite this in its largest form and subtract its smallest form from it, you end up back at 6174. Now you can never escape this. It's an endless loop going back and forth between a difference, splitting it up, doing it again. You're stuck here. So any number you start with will end up at 6,174. And in the next video, we'll look at other loops, and I hope you enjoy that.